Joined now by Arizona student athletes Cate, Reese, and Sam Thomas, and head coach Adia Barnes. Coach, if you'd like to start with an opening statement, we'll open it up for questions after that.
Well, I'm excited this year to have our fans back. I'm excited to be here at the Pac-12 Tournament with all of you guys. We've missed that for a whole year, so just want the players to experience a true year of Arizona basketball and what it's like. You know, everybody's excited about women's basketball this year, so just can't wait for them to have the true experience.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Michelle Smith, Pac12.com. Adia, I asked Tara the same question. When you're coming off participating in the national championship game, how does it change the way you feel or prepare for the start of a new season? How is this different than any other start you've had?
I don't prepare any differently. It doesn't feel any different. I know that people are like, oh, you know, it was a magical run, but it is what it is. That's last year. And, you know, the reality is we didn't win. So it was great to get there, but I think that our standards are just really high, and now that they've had a taste of success, I think they're just really hungry for more. So it doesn't change our approach. It doesn't change the way we work. You're going to still see us diving on the floor, you know, running people over, getting balls. That's who we are. That's our identity. So nothing different.
Thank you. Adia, I'm just going to go back quickly to last year and your willingness to be the voice for a lot of coaches on the women's basketball side, a lot of women's coaches on the basketball side. What you all as women go through on the women's basketball side and some of the hurdles that were bared open thanks to some of your takes. I'm going to assume or hope that you got some good feedback from some of those brave takes,
yeah,
and
sure.
You never hesitated, you never blinked, you speak the truth, and you rattle cages if need be. Can you help us understand if that's been you since day one, or where the hell that came from?
No, I'm very transparent. I think I've kind of lived in a different world, you know, being a college athlete, then being a pro. So there was a lot of things that I didn't really know were happening today. Just as far as, you know, you look at my realm of friends, you know, it's Lauren Jackson, who just has kids now. Sue Bird doesn't have kids, like the people I played with. So a lot of it was new. I didn't know that some women can't, you know, pump somewhere. It wasn't like, I was like, wait, why? So I think a lot of it, I wasn't aware of how hard some of it was. So when I said I was doing it, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm doing it. Like, what's the big deal? So it opened up my eyes. And, you know, if I can be a voice to help women, you know, I coach women's basketball. Like, you are supposed to support women. We are supposed to have, you know, we have kids. That's what we do. That's why you guys are all here. But it's like there should be a place to pump. I think that I should be able to take my kids on the plane. And luckily for me, I have supported Arizona. But I understood through all this, a lot of my friends at really prominent institutions do not have support and aren't backed up. And to me, that's sad because we're women's basketball, and to be a mom is special for them. They can see, if you don't see it, you can't be it. They see it. They see me traveling with 7 bags. They see me pumping at halftime. They walked in, I've had pumps on. But they're seeing me do it, and they can do that one day. You can coach. You can be a mom. You can have kids. Is it hard? Heck yeah, it's hard. I mean, being an athlete's hard. It's all hard, but you're capable, and I think there needs to be more support and more resources so we can do it. And I hope that I opened up eyes, and I hope that someone's willing to hire a woman that wants to have kids and doesn't shy away from that, because we can be great, and I think we offer so much more.
Adia, I'm wondering, as you look back on your years at Arizona, kind of, was there a turning point where you felt like things really were coming together? Because we talked to Charmin earlier, and the first year was tough, the second year was brutal. And I'm wondering, as you look at your journey through Arizona basketball, when did you feel like things were starting to really move in the right direction?
I started to feel that way in year 3. Mm-hmm. Year 1 was still, I think the boat was rocked. It's a new coach. I think the players are really hungry for success. We had some seniors. The second year, awful. This is the year when these players right here decided to come. Sam was already here. She went through it, never lost so much in her life. Wanted to transfer, I'm sure, but the portal wasn't as popular back then. And then we have Cate, who watched us win 6 games. So they chose to come to Arizona with that vision that we were selling. Year 3, I started to feel it. Year 2, I was optimistic because I had Ari, Dominique, and Titi sitting there, so that practice team was better than our team. Ask Sam every day. So I knew we'd be better, but then we got a lot better in year 3, and then we won the NIT. So then Tucson was excited. The whole city was behind us. And then I think that led to better players, more wins. Now remember, year 4, COVID happened, so we didn't go to the tournament. So that was going to be the first time in 16 years we were going to be a 2 seed most likely and go to the tournament. That was taken away from us. So then when you look at this year, I didn't know. That was uncharted territory for Arizona. We had never been to the NCAA tournament, had never stepped foot on one of those floors, and it's much different. It feels much different than the Pac-12 tournament. It feels different than anything, and we didn't know what that felt like. So if you would have said, Adia, you guys are going to go to the tournament, or you're going to go to the Sweet 16, I would have said, oh, that's probably possible. But if you would have said you're going to go to the championship game, year 5, I would have said, okay, slow down, partner. I wouldn't have said that. So I'd say year 3, I saw the shift, and I saw the belief, and I saw the potential of being a good team.
For the players, I want to ask you a variation on a question that I asked Adia, which is that what's changed for you in terms of having the national championship game experience, just in terms of your own expectations or the standards for the program? Or, I imagine the bar is just different than it was going into any other season. And what does that mean for what you guys hope for and how you prepare?
I would say I think coming off of having experience now in the NCAA tournament, the Final Four, we want to go back every year, and I think that that's our expectation now. That's the standard. At the beginning, the standard or the expectation was, okay, well, let's get to the tournament. And now it's like we know we can get to the tournament and we know what we can do. So I think it's now just being consistent and knowing that we can get there. I think as far as expectations from other people, I think that people think now that Aries gone, we're not going to be the same team, and I disagree with them because I think we're now able to get players transfers that are really good, and I think that people believe that if they come here, they can do big things, and I think that that's something that Sam and I came here to build. So I'm really excited for the season and to see what we can do.
Yeah, I would agree with everything that Cate said, and also being in the national championship game, we had the experience. Like Stanford plays 4 quarters, great offense, great defense. In that game, we maybe had like 3.5 quarters, which is why we obviously lost. So I think now we have the experience of we know what it takes to win the national championship game. Obviously, we weren't able to accomplish it, but this year we're like, okay, we have to be on our game every practice, work hard, and get better at something every day.
Hi, Sam and Cate. It's Bruce Pasco from the Daily Star in Tucson. Do you guys, you talk about internal expectations, externally? I mean, with COVID lifting a little bit, are you starting to sense a different feel around town at all? Did people talk about the team? Is it different than when you arrived, or is it hard to tell still?
I think now, it's still the same. We still get recognized at the grocery store. We just had masks on. I think now everyone's just actually saying, I bought season tickets. We're going to your game. We're going to your game. So now they actually can go to our games. It's not just, oh, we watched you on TV from home. My whole family was there. So it's great that now they're going to actually be able to see what we can do on the court.
Sam could be the Tucson mayor if she wanted to be. She literally can. They say me, I'm like, heck no, Sam. She definitely could be.
Oh, thank you, Adia.
This is for the players. I don't know if you can hear me. Joan Bombasani, Pac-12 Networks. So I'm going to talk a little bit about last year. When you guys went to the Pac-12 tournament, that wasn't the best part of your season. You lost. And then you got into the NCAA tournament, and it was sort of scary. You had a good record. What changed during that time and gave you the momentum to really take off?
I think after the Pac-12 tournament, we were just mentally low. We had just lost. We weren't playing our best basketball. We knew we could do way better than that, but that was kind of our last chance in the Pac-12 tournament. You lose, you're done. So I think we were just low mentally. We wanted to be better. It's the end of the season. Our bodies are hurting. So I think having that week of just, being able to focus on, we don't know who we're playing yet, so we can focus on ourselves. We can get healthy. We can get better. We can work on our offense. We can work on our defense. So I think just being able to focus on ourselves internally and just get better individually, that really helped us come together as a team.
Okay, and Adia, I know one of the media asked you this question, but you talked a lot about your experience being a mom and doing all the things that mothers do. But how is your life? You're always busy as a coach, okay? How has your life changed since going to the national championship?
It really hasn't changed that much. I think people think it's changed a lot. I'm not like famous or anything. I think it's just changed in the sense that everything was like so fast after the tournament. We went deep into the tournament, and then the USA basketball. But I had committed to USA basketball in November before. But people don't know that. I think people thought, we went far and she got USA basketball. But so after the tournament, went to USA basketball. That was like a month. I think just everything went so fast, and there was a lot of podcasts and a lot of different women's leadership groups, but it was a pleasure. It wasn't something that I was going to say no to. I was tired for a period because it was a lot, but it was stuff that I felt like I had a chance and a platform to do something special to help women in our game. So why would of course I would do it. So I think it was good things, and I think it was great for our program to have so much momentum, and I felt like America fell in love with Arizona. And for me, I love Arizona. It's my school. It's where I went. And so for me, that's special. So I do it with it's a privilege. And so for me, it doesn't feel like it's any different. I think I've always done it. It's just a little busier now. I mean, I think one of the main things was like Pete Carroll called me and had me on his podcast, and I was like, wait, you want me on your podcast? I was kind of like fangirling for 5 minutes, but it was pretty cool. But it's cool to meet different people, experience different things, and I think the essence of it is a lot of stuff about being a mom and a working mom, which I think so many women related, and I thought that was special, that I can be a voice to help people.
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Network's play-by-play voice. Sam Thomas, this question is for you. I've had the absolute privilege to watch your career starting as a freshman when you played all 5 positions to help that team win basketball games. But I was most impressed with you in front of Congress. What was that experience like, and what did you take away from it?
That was an experience I will never forget. When they asked me to go, I was so shocked. I barely know anything about politics and all the behind-the-scenes stuff, so I was a little scared at first, but then when they said, you're talking about NIL, we just want to hear from a student athlete. So I was very just honored that they would pick me, first of all, and then to sit on a panel across some amazing men. I mean, I think I just represented myself the best that I could. Everyone said I did a good job, so I was starstruck in the moment, so I just did it, and I blacked out, didn't remember anything, but now, I mean, after going back and looking at it, I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. It was a great speaking experience for me, going all the way to D.C., got to see the White House. It was huge, and I'm very glad that I did it.
Alyssa, Charleston, Pac-12 Network. Question first for the players and then for Adia afterward. I saw Cate's reaction when, Adia, you were just now talking about women can do this. You can be a mom. You can be all these things, a coach. And it was like, you almost looked like to Sam, like, wow, that was awesome, like proud. How much does it affect your team to have a leader in Adia that is willing to speak about those issues? Because in other cases, what if it is a distraction? If there is people that are hating against it and creating, more negative media, what is it like for you guys to have a leader like that as your coach?
I think that's one of the reasons why I came to Arizona. I mean, she sold the dream for me, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to come in, I wanted to play early, but not only that, she's an amazing woman. Without being a coach, she's just an amazing person. So I think that was something that I'm sure I could speak for Sam, for so many of the other players that committed there, is just that she'll fight for what she believes in, and she doesn't care if anyone else disagrees with her. And I think that's such an amazing thing to be able to see and to be able to witness. And she has fought for some amazing things, and I'm proud that I chose the place where I could be able to see that and know that that stuff is okay. It's okay to talk about hard conversations. It's okay to be a woman and be a coach and be a mother. So I think it's amazing to be able to sit here and watch her do all those things, because now I know I can do that.
And then Adia, just with the generational change, it seems like obviously this year at the NCAA tournament, when Sedona Prince posts that video and you see the disparities and how much positive change it will create. Think back to when you played, and even when I feel like when I played a couple years ago, I wouldn't have been brave enough to do that and challenge an entire organization. What do you feel about the change and the shift in the culture with, players, this younger generation stepping up and challenging things?
I mean, it's so important. But I think when you're a player for so many years, I look back at my playing career, you're oblivious to a lot of the stuff. Because if you never have a comparison, you don't really know the difference. So I look back, I'm like, well, we had that, or we had the community showers, and it was just kind of like that. So I love the fact that this generation isn't accepting that. It's not okay. It's not okay that our NCAA tournament was like this and the men's wasn't. You understand as a coach, like the finances, but there is, it needs to be equitable. And it clearly wasn't. And the great thing that I saw that people cared. 20 years ago, people didn't care. When I was playing, we were a top 10 team my last couple years, and we had 2,000 fans at games. Now, for the NIT, I can call 15,000 fans to come. So people care about women's basketball. It's time for changes. It needs to be more equitable. We need to be able to earn money for our programs, and I think that we have the potential to do so with the right system. So I'm proud that they have the, the capability of believing in themselves and standing for what they believe regardless of what it is. And I think that's what COVID brought out in a lot of these players. They're able to have a voice, whatever the voice is, whether it's about equality, whatever it is, they have a voice, and they understand that they have the power and the platform to do that. And I think that this generation is different than we are, because years ago I probably wouldn't have done that. And we wouldn't have the social media or the platform to do that. So now they can force change, and it's very important. Sedona posted something, and I think 17 million people liked it. So talk about influence, and I guess it's the influencer. I don't know what that is because I'm not one, but like it's influential. It raises awareness, and that's power. And I love to see that. I think it's pretty amazing.
Maybe we have time for one last question. Cindy?
As you try to fill McHale, will you be auctioning off Salvo again
No,
this year?
someone asked me that. No, I can't now. We're a little older now. No, I don't have, we're better. When we weren't good, I had to auction off my husband because I think he's pretty handsome. But we're at the point where we're beyond that. So now we get fans because we're good, not because I auction off an Italian guy.
I love it. Coach, we know that Ari was the straw that stirred the drink. Who is the leader that stands out on your team right now?
I mean, these two next to me. I think that there's a big question about, the deficit with Ari. I get that. I'd be saying the same thing if I was looking at the outside in. But I'm not looking for one player to fill the void. It's by committee. Sam's going to score a little bit more, do a little bit more, and she's fine with it. Cate's going to score a little bit more, do a little more. Araya is a great addition. Coy, Taylor Chavez. We have some pretty darn good freshmen, so everybody does a little more, but it's what we needed anyways. Because we were that close. The margin of error is very small. We were that close last year, but we didn't win. So we had to get better anyways. It's going to look different. But I'm telling you guys right now, we're going to be a better team. A lot of people don't think so, and I don't really care. People have their own opinion. To me, it matters how you finish. It doesn't matter how you start. But if we listened to all that, they wouldn't have been here. And if I listened to everybody else before that, I wouldn't have taken the Arizona job. So no one in the world but Arizona believed that we'd be in the championship and that we could beat anybody, and we did it. But we didn't win. But Joan believed. That's my coach. Of course she believed. But no one else believed that. So all that stuff's irrelevant for me. It's my job to say, okay, let's go out and see. That's what we coach. We got to coach them up, and we got to get better. But I think the challenge is exciting to me, and I think that's the fun part about coaching, proving people wrong. And we've done that all our life, and I've done it all my life, so that's the fun. You got to love the hard stuff, I believe.
All right, Cate, Sam, Adia, thank you so much.
Thank you.